Hello, my name is Frank Davis. I'm pastor at Haven Rock Church, and I just wanted to share some words of encouragement because God knows we can use some during these times. As I promised last time, I was going to be back, right? So I'm back. And if you watched the other video on the link, it's a cartoon depicting one of the Aesop fables, the Grasshopper and the ants. And to sum it up, it's just a story of how the ants worked hard during the spring and summer and fall, while the friend the grasshopper goofed around the whole time, and he was laughing at them for working so hard. But they were storing up for the winter, and he wasn't. And of course, when the winter came, the grasshopper was freezing his tail off, right? And the ants were fine. What this is describing is college life, right? That's how it was my freshman year. Some people were in the library the whole semester, and some were goofing off. And man, when the grades came out, that was the truth. And so this is the parable, and we can think of a lot of practical applications of the story. Saving money as opposed to not saving money for a rainy day. Having a retirement fund. Studying in school. These are all practical life applications. But believe it or not, the Bible itself has its own versions of the story. And you can look at Jeremiah 17, verses 5 to 8. Luke chapter 12, 13 to 21, which tells the story of the rich fool. Luke 12, 13 to 31. And the one we're going to read right now, Luke chapter 6, starting with verse 46. And it just reads as follows. In Luke 6, 46, it says, "Why do you call me Lord, Lord, and not do what I say? As for everyone who comes to me and hears my words and puts them into practice, I will show you what they are like. They are like a man building a house who dug down deep and laid the foundation on rock. When a flood came, the torrent struck their house, but could not shake it because it was well built. But the one who hears my words and does not put them into practice is like a man who built a house on the ground without a foundation. The moment the torrent struck their house, it collapsed, and its destruction was complete." Okay, so this is the story of, really what Jesus is saying here is, look, if you fall apart when things are tough, it's like building a house on sand. If you stand, it's because you built your house on the rock, right? And the consistent thing he says for both situations is no matter what you want in life, the storms are going to come. Man, we want to live without storms. And we're in the middle of a storm right now. This coronavirus, or as my daughter calls it, Rona's real, right? This is a real crisis that we're in. And as I shared before, the uncertainty of it makes it that much more challenging because we don't know what to expect. But having said all that, what God says is that at the end of the day, as much as we don't want them to come, we are promised that there will be storms. They're going to come. The challenge is what have we invested in? What have we invested in? Because if we have not invested in Him, and investing in Him isn't just being religious or just going to church. He says, those who put my words into practice. Because I can go to church, right, and not be living church. I can go to church and I can be doing whatever I want 6 days a week and show up at church. He said, no, investing in the rock is living my word out. Okay, if we invest in the rock, if we trust in God, it's like, man, we're solid. And when the storm comes, we'll be able to handle it. If we don't, it's just going to overwhelm us. Here's the thing. Like I said, storms are real. Financial stress, family stress. Man, your husband's crazy. Your wife's acting crazy. Your kids are acting crazy. And your job is uncertain now because of the virus. There's so many things that happen. Parents getting older. Life changes. Storms come and they're real. I am not in any way ever, in any message, ever trying to diminish the size of our storms. But they don't have to lead to depression. They don't have to lead to anxiety. They don't have to lead to being bitter or angry. They don't have to be a license to go out and do things that we're not proud of because we're trying to blow off some steam, right? It doesn't have to lead to stuff. When Jesus says, if you're grounded in me, man, you will stand during those times. And not only that, you can shine during those times. But you have to invest. You have to invest every day in building a foundation. You know, I've lived a little life, and that means I had a little bit of challenges in life. And I'm going to preach about this more on Sunday, but you know, you go through life. One of the hardest things that I dealt with was when my mom was diagnosed back in 2011 with dementia. And my mom has always been a rock and so I could talk to and depend on. And when she got dementia, it was like, wow. It's a very, very, very painful disease to watch a loved one endure. And so my wife and I became her primary caretakers with the help of Mr. Owen and other friends of ours. And it was very, very challenging to see her lose her faculties and see her lose who she was. And in some ways, die a little bit every day. And it's one of the hardest things emotionally that I've ever, ever, ever endured. I mean, it just was something very, very challenging. And the truth is, there's no way I could have gotten through it unless I've been investing in God over a period of time. All those hours spent praying, all those hours in my Bible, man, that's what it pays off. Is that you have a trust in God and you're able to trust God in these tough situations. You're able to put your faith in him in the tough situation. Man, why's my mom sick? My mom, all she did was serve people and love God. Why she have dementia, right? But you have the ability, because you walk with God, to believe that he knows best and he has your best interest at heart in the toughest situations. I'm not Superman. I have my good days, my bad days, my up days, my down days. All I know is this. To get through those days, I need God. I need to walk with God. He's got to be real to me. It's got to be more than religion. It has to be relationship. But that means investing in time to read your Bible so that God can talk to you through his word. And investing time to pray to him, and not just some scripted prayers, but to pour out your heart to him so you can have a relationship with him. And investing time with like-minded people. So you can remind each other to do what? Trust in God. And that becomes a habit. Trusting God becomes a habit. And so when the storm comes, man, it's still a storm. And it still shakes you, but it didn't knock you out. You're able to rise up because your faith is built upon a rock. And that's God's version of the grasshopper and the ants. Because everyone that kind of puts God off and kind of, gives lip service to it, man, when the storm comes, it wipes you out. It takes out your mirror, it takes out your faith, it takes out your joy. But if you invest in him and you trust in him, you are able to stand firm. And in standing firm, to reach out to others and to show them the way of Jesus. So I want to encourage you to keep investing in Jesus. And if you've gotten away from that, get back on your knees, to get in your Bible. Man, make time for it. You're not too busy to read your Bible. You're not too busy to pray. You're not too busy to make time to be around godly people. Because let me tell you something. We're in a storm, and when this storm passes, another storm is coming. Do you want to build your life on sand or build it on rock? Let's build our faith on rock. Until next time, this is Frank Davis.